everyone. Welcome back. Today is a very special campfire with me, Francesca from New Camp. Hey, Francesca, how you doing?
Good.
It's great to have you back. Francesca is an advisor at New Camp. Chances are, if you've been following us, if you have sent an email or maybe called in, you may have talked or emailed with Francesca. And so we'll spend the next hour trying to answer as many questions as we can about New Camp. This is one of those campfire where it's just really about all the people that are writing on the wall, either on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. You type in your questions there, and Francesca and I will actually do our best to answer them. There's another option, though. Another option, if you want to try it out, it's always fun, is actually joining us live on the show with your camera, with your microphone on, and we can actually bring you onto the stage and have a conversation with you. So if you have, a series of questions, not just one, and if you also want to be part of a YouTube stream, which could be fun or nerve-wracking, it depends. You can follow that link, url.newcamp.co/dial-in, and we'll have you on the show. All right. And I see that some people are joining. Hey, Kothin, good to see you. So, Kothin, for anyone, is actually a student of New Camp, or maybe, I don't know if you've graduated, Kothin, just yet. And also was recently on Don the Developer Show doing a mock interview to get into Fang, I think. Very
Oh,
interesting stuff. And Kothin was very courageous to actually put yourself out there and do that kind of things. So let's get started. First, some housekeeping. We have an early bird uh, ending on Monday. So you may wonder, what is the early bird? It's every 5 weeks, actually. Our prices are discounted up to the last 2 weeks, right before the bootcamp starts. And that helps us actually to know exactly how many students we're going to have. It helps us really make sure that we have all the instructors that we need. And so that's kind of an incentive for everyone to register earlier. And that incentive, actually for bootcamp, that incentive is about $350, something like that. So if you want to get that discount for the courses, for the bootcamp, for the Python bootcamp that's starting in July, you're going to have access to that pricing up until Monday midnight. And it's midnight Central Time. So just so you know, midnight Central Time. So with that being said, I wanted to ask you, Francesca, what are the, I mean, you've answered a lot of lots of calls, you've answered a lot of emails. What have been the most interesting, or what have you heard from students or prospect the most recently? What are the questions that are top of mind for them at this time?
I would say a lot of it would be about the complete software path, the success rate as well when you graduate. And also, a lot of it is a Saturday workshop.
Oh yeah. What do they
So we
say
have,
about the Saturday workshop?
well, a lot of students who want to join, but their scheduling is very conflicting. So hopefully in the future, we can have another day to help a lot of the students that do want to join, but, can't because of their schedule conflict or their religious reasons as well.
That's right. And when we looked into the doing our workshops, neither Saturday or Sunday were ideal times. Actually, it's a great plug and a great segue to something we're going to work on pretty soon. And I'm wondering if we could do can I do a poll here? Hmm. I don't think I can. Can I plus?
Yeah, that would be good to do a poll.
Yeah, no, I cannot do a poll on this piece of software. So, and Sergio, I just see your question. We'll get to that. So, we are planning to offer an option to join the Saturday workshop or another day. And right now, we're thinking about potentially 2 time slots on Fridays. So, something like Friday afternoon
Yeah.
Eastern, or Friday late evening Eastern, and then Friday afternoon Pacific. Um, and so we're thinking about Friday, not Saturday, not Sunday, because again, that may not be the right time for the people who
Yeah.
can't really make Saturday, but actually doing Friday afternoon or evening Eastern Pacific and Pacific time, Eastern time and Pacific time. I mean, I would love for anyone who's logged in, who's hearing me, if you can actually let us know if Friday afternoon will be a good option. That would be great. Oh, and Cuthin just said that graduating on Monday. Yes, we're looking forward to that. But then you're doing backend right after that. All right. So if you have a preference, if not for Saturday for the workshop sessions, would Friday afternoon be an option for you? That'd be great.
Yeah.
And now I see, Francesca, that we have a few questions. You are going to say something?
No, I would say like yes, Friday, evening. Most of the time, that's when people are getting off of work and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. I know personally on Friday evenings, I tend to want to relax, have a glass of wine. And so I was like, okay, is Friday afternoon really going to be the right option? Because that's when I don't want to do anything. So that was kind of my thing. But Summer right now is saying that Friday could be a good option. So, and here's a little bit of trivia. When I started New Camp, so back in 2017, 2018, in Tacoma, Washington, we did try Friday afternoon. So
Oh,
it was always, is Saturday going to be the right day? And so we did try Friday afternoon, and it was kind of a so-so kind of experience. Wasn't clear. Um, oh,
Sergey.
and so Scott is saying, personally, I would like Monday. That way, people who like lectures before they work have that option. Interesting.
I don't know
See,
about
I don't
like.
think we're gonna find the right day.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to Sergio's question. So again, today is a special campfire. We're going to spend 100% of the time, the full hour, answering your questions online. So if you have any question, and if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, just use the chat function, and we'll get to your question. So Sergio is asking, how will I be able to obtain a career in backend development once completing the backend development course? What steps can I take to secure a job? Let me take that one, Francesca. So just like front end development, back end development really includes a lot of different things. Uh, the primary reason why our backend bootcamp is going to be helpful is you're going to learn to program SQL databases. And so when you're thinking backend, you're thinking about, where the data lives. You're thinking about retrieving information from that database, you building REST APIs. And so we are teaching you pretty much the leading database engine right now, relational database, which is PostgreSQL. We're teaching you how to modelize, like create databases from scratch. And that's going to be really the anchor, I think, of the value that you will provide to an organization as a backend developer. Now, along with that, we're teaching you pretty much a number one programming language for building backend solutions, which is Python at the moment. And by the way, because we're teaching you Python and Progress SQL, you have right there the two technologies that you're going to need if you want to branch into data analytics, data science. Those two actually, so those skills are going to be transferable. You're going to be able to keep them as you study, potentially, if you want, data analytics, data science. So we're going to teach you those two things, but then we're going to also teach you how to leverage a framework. Actually, we introduced two frameworks for the back end, and those two are Django and Flask. So just like there are frameworks for front end, like React, Angular, Vue, there are frameworks for the back end. And so we're going to teach you those two major frameworks there. And then once you talk about the back end, you really need to think about how you're going to deploy those things onto the internet. And so the cloud is super important, way more critical, I will say, than if you were looking into just doing front-end development. Because most of the time, if you just do front-end, you're not going to worry about how it's going to be deployed. You're just going to build the code. But as a backend developer, you are expected to understand those things. So you are expected to understand the cloud. So we're teaching you all the three major clouds: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. And we're also teaching you a concept that is called DevOps, Developer and Operations, which is how you push out the code to your to your cloud providers. And so, I mean, all of that. First, I think it's unique in the industry, really covering all those topics, and then it's gonna really give you access to that job market of backend developers, backend operators, backend deployment specialists. You could actually bring into that QA if by any chance you are interested in it, because mostly QA is backend testing. Uh, Part of it is. And so, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Sergio. And what steps can you do to secure a job? As always, build a portfolio, show what you can do, experience DevOps, make sure that you're engaging with the clouds, build databases, build using Django or Flask, and just do all of those things, and network. Most of the things that people don't do well is assuming that because you're going to send 500 resumes out there, there's going to be one that works. It could be, sometimes it happens, but the best way to really get a job is to network locally, network in communities that are out there. To, I mean, put your name out there, I will say. What do you think, Francesca? Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think you said it really good. Networking is definitely important.
Yeah. All right. We have a question from, I'm not going to even try to pretend that I'm going to read this. FDA, DADSSA. Do you accept the Veteran Rapid Retraining Assistant Program? I think I know the answer to that one. We don't. I don't think we do, but we do. And Francesca, you've seen people asking for Skills Bridge, right?
Yeah, so normally we, in that case, what we do advise is to get approval from your CO first.
Yeah.
Once you get that approval, then you can go on ucamp.co and register.
Hey, do you have, Francesca? Do you have a notification sound or something on your computer? I think we can hear it from your mic. That's okay. That's fine though. Yeah, so we don't. I don't think we're part of the Rapid Retraining Assistant Program. But we are in the Skills Bridge program, and just pretty much do what Francesca said for that.
But we do have a scholarship that does help as well, the Warrior Rising Scholarship.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's about 20% of the total cost, so it's pretty good. And for the Warrior Rising Scholarship, you need to show proof of being in the military or being active duty. All right, question. We kind of answer that one, Cothin, but let me add to it maybe. The next steps to start applying for jobs is to practice, and you'll find that you're going to bomb a few interviews first, and so really getting out there and finding those interviews. I will say, even if even if you're not a fan of the job, just get that experience of the interview, of going through a loop, because you're gonna feel more comfortable with your story. You're gonna feel more comfortable talking about what you've done during the boot camp, your projects. You want to prepare it. Like, don't go in there and just wing it. That would be a wrong way of doing it. I think you want to potentially dry run it, and that will be really the very first step. Is just get a few interviews, even if that may not be the best job that you're seeking, just to get that experience. There's a ton of stuff, obviously, that you need to do. You need to update your LinkedIn profile. Super important, actually. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is inspiring. Sometimes I check out LinkedIn profiles of students or graduates, or just people searching for jobs, and it's very dry, um, and it's not great because as a manager, as a hiring manager, I will go to your LinkedIn profile straight away, and if I'm not too inspired by it, I may not just go further. So make sure you have a good LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you have a good Git. Make sure that you have your those green dots in it. Do you get that question a lot, Francesca, when people reach out?
Yes, we do get a lot of what happens after, how can they uh, get a job, what assistance do they get when they
Yeah.
graduate. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Now
that's a great point. Do you want to talk about the career services that we offer?
we have a lot of questions though.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
just got a
okay.
lot of questions.
All right. Do you want to take that one from India?
What would you say the difference between full stack and the complete software? Sure. Okay, so India, so with the full stack is only a portion of the complete software path. The complete software path is all our boot camps combined together from web fundamentals to backend with Python to full stack. So that's 11 months with the job hunting. The full stack is only front end and back end content, and it's only 22 weeks compared to 11 months.
Yeah, that's great. And there's one more boot camp in there, but that's the job hunting one.
Yeah.
The first delivery is happening in August, and that's super exciting. You can actually register to it directly now as well. Thank you for that. And India, if you have additional questions, let us know. Huh. You want to take that one? And I'm guessing it's the software engineering path.
Yeah, so yeah. So everything is, completely online. So you would just go to newcamp.co, and under bootcamp, you would click on complete software path. You would select, the community, which would be your time zone or the area that you're in. And then you would select register for the month that you want. If you're paying monthly, you can just register one at a time. So the first one would be to register for web fundamentals. If you're paying with a loan, the loan options would be towards the bottom where the section where it says apply for fair student agreement. And you would apply for the loan first, get approval, and then before registering.
That's a great answer. You know what? I think, how about this? How about I actually,
Show.
yeah, there we go. What do you think? Boom. Look at that. Oh, this is cool, isn't it?
So yeah,
All right.
boot camps.
Yeah, there you go. So what you described is you go there,
Yes.
right?
Go down to the map section.
That's right. Let me change my community. I'm actually closer to Bellevue myself. We are serving communities in the Middle East. You probably just saw that, but we are also welcoming learners from the Middle East, as well as Asia, Africa, Europe. So we actually became international over the last few months. So I'm in Bellevue myself. So there you go. And so these are the 4 boot camps that we talked about. And here you'll notice that this is for June 22nd to June 23rd. And you can actually, if you want
Click
to,
on the arrow bunny. Yeah.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can do that as well. You can click on this, see, boom. And so you can actually start in October if you wanted to, not that you have to. And then you'll go there. And so you'll register to each one of them. And I think that's a great point you made. You don't have to register to all of them at once. You could. And actually, sometimes it's great because you're gonna, that's commitment. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do the 11 month.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that, and you can actually otherwise go to. I think that's what you were describing, right? If you don't want to pay upfront for the 4, you can get a loan. And what will happen is we're gonna send you a coupon code, and just for the registration. And so, like for example, you're gonna be able to register for just $100 for all 4. At the same time, and then you'll pay back the loan with the loan provider. But that's another option. Great. All right. Cool. Here we're back. All right. Do you know who that is? Who's answering that one? Do you know, Francesca?
Not Drew.
That's true. So Drew is part of the team. Drew is a Francesca's peer, and I think he's super shy. I mean, like, I think we can say that at this time, right? Because you've been on the show twice, and I haven't begged Drew yet to come on the show, but I kind of mentioned it, and no, it's still you. So I think we can say that Drew is a little shy, but very much engaged, and we love to have you,
Yes, he's
Drew.
helping out in the chat.
All right. Yeah, you're right. That's great. So lots of questions. All right. So what happens if during the program you cannot attend the Saturday weekly class? You want to take that one, Francesca?
The Saturday class is not mandatory, but getting a grade is mandatory, and you are given assignments each Saturday. We do recommend it because it is live, it is with your instructor. You also get to, ask questions, review what you learned for the week, and also work on the assignment as well with your classmates. So we understand, that things do happen. So if you're gonna miss, like at least one or two out the month, that's fine. But if you're gonna miss it, every week, then we do advise, that you start at a later date because you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, that's very true. And then maybe soon we'll have an option for you to join on another day,
Yeah.
which would be nice. And the way we're thinking about doing it, I mean, logistically, we have some constraints. So it's not like, 1 week you'll join on a Saturday and the other week you'll join on a Friday or another day. You'll have to pick a cohort, and that cohort or that class will run every workshop on Saturdays or every workshop on Friday, right? Otherwise, you'll have to, because when you're in
Yeah.
a class, you're in a class, right? You're not going to hop classes and just change classmates every week. That would not make. I mean, that would be challenging for us logistically as well. So that's kind of how we're thinking about it. All right. So next question. Hmm. Default has an information system degree and is asking if they can skip the front end and get a back end job after completing the back end course. I'll say yes, 100%, completely. There's a ton of developers who, after discovering back end, love the back end and don't like the front end that much, and actually never do any front end anymore, and are just a back end SQL DevOps kind of guy or gal, and that's just fine. It just works. You can totally do that. So yeah, there's no reason. Like, front end is absolutely not a mandatory skill. You don't have to. You have to understand what it is. You have to, just like anything, it's part of the ecosystem. You cannot be ignorant about it, but you don't have to be a front end developer. You can just understand what it is and be a back end developer. I have no clue what that means, but I think it's funny. The woman's
I
voice.
know my voice is raspy, but
Is that yours, or is that? I was wondering if it was the one Mine's voice in the video, because we get feedback as well.
oh, that's what. Oh,
That could be that as well. But yeah, no, I mean, we cannot really change the woman's voice. And I'll say, sometimes people think that it's an AI voice, and it's not. It's a real human. So that's an interesting comment. All right. Scott Bartlett. How do you feel about trying to answer that one, Francesca?
I think you'll be better at answering this.
You want me to do it? All right. So I'm currently in the full stack camp to progress into a digital project management career. Any thoughts on what will really get you started in that? So to be honest with you, Scott, I'm having a hard time connecting the dots between full stack developer and digital project management. That's kind of my first reaction. I guess, okay, let me think about it twice. If your primary goal is really indeed to be in the project management space, and what you need is being able to talk about what full stack projects are and really being knowledgeable in that space, I guess that will help. it's going to be 22 weeks of really going deep, super deep. And so you'll actually be a great expert. You could actually become a developer. Question is, are you going to enjoy it? Because it's going to take you really to the deep ends. And if you just want to know know it lightly, that's not going to be it. You're going to know it deeply. And then actually, maybe you're going to like it so much that you're not going to want to be a digital project manager anymore. You could actually become a full stack developer. But I'll say, yeah, I mean, that would be my answer. What do you think?
Are they two completely different things?
Well, they are, but when you think about managing a development project, you'll have full stack developers and you'll have project managers. And so the best development teams have people who really understand the other person's job, obviously. And so for a project manager to also be deep in coding and actually know how to be a full stack developer, it's super rare, and it's actually kind of a superpower in a way.
Oh,
So I understand now the connection. I said I didn't see it, but I do see it now. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's a good one. I don't know how you will get started in that. I will think that you will already be a digital project manager, and then you wanted to supplement that skill with full stack skills. Um, if you've never been a digital project manager and wanted to get into that by going through the full stack bootcamp, I'll say that's an interesting path. Maybe not the best one, but definitely interesting and definitely something that could take you somewhere. So, all right, we have tons of questions. This is great. So maybe quick reminder, we're this is, and we still have 30 minutes. We're going to answer all the questions that you are throwing at us, Francesca and myself. You can also follow this link and join us live on stage with your camera and your mic, and we'll have a conversation with you and answer your questions. But for now, we're going through the chat and answering it. All right, so India is asking, when it comes to portfolio projects for the full stack path, I saw that there will be one. Indeed. Is that competitive enough to put on GitHub and applications, or will there be more that we can do?
well, there definitely is more that you can do. You will do like a new camp project, then you'll do your personal project, and in the full stack you have the mobile app development as well. But we normally do recommend that you try to do as many projects, little projects as possible to show your creativity, your techniques.
That's right. And let me actually, I kind of like now doing a demo at the same time. Uh, if you go to our website, you're going to see here graduates projects. And so we post here all the graduates who allowed us to post their projects, the graduate for honors. And so you have a ton of options you can check it out. I mean, see for yourself. These are pretty great projects, in my opinion. I've seen almost all of them. And so we keep posting them as we have graduates allowing us to do so. I think we ask you to do a project per course, and on top of that, you have the learning project. So if you do full stack, you're going to have a total of 5 projects. Although some students decide to really go deep on one, and so they'll do it for Bootstrap, they'll improve it with React, they'll turn it into a mobile app for React Native, and then they'll add the backend with Node.js. Yeah, you'll have a ton to show for at the end of the bootcamp. All right. Alberto Santillan Vasquez. I paid the total course, but I did not finish 2 courses, React and Node.js. How to enroll to these courses? Well, I think probably so.
How long ago was it?
Yeah, that's right. I think so. You probably should. I will assume it's been a long time, and you've kind of you never really completed it. Send an email to student admin, and they'll actually put you into the latest cohort so that you can actually finish. You could actually probably finish on your own, but that'll be sad. So you won't actually join a class with an instructor for the last two. Send an email to
At
studentadmin@newcamp.co.
bootcamp.co and either
Yeah, let me see if I have that somewhere on my list of things. No, I don't. I should have that. Okay. Mm. Yeah, I'll do that later. Okay, studentadmin@newcamp.co.
.co.
That's right. They don't let you pay month at a time. They ask you for the first month. So we do require the first month to be paid, but then it's monthly after that. And if you take a student loan with Ascent or Climb Credit, you actually can get a deferred payment. So you only pay like $100 to register, and then you can just pay like 6 months later. You can start to repay 6 months later. All loans are maximum of 4 or 5 payments. Student loans can be as long as, I think we have one that's 48 months for the complete software engineering.
And let's
So,
just add as well that with the monthly payments, yes, you do pay the fee to register, but you also pay the same monthly fee when your class starts.
that's
So
right.
it's not 1 month from the time that you pay the registration fee.
Yeah, and you're right to mention that because some students get surprised, like they register, 3 days before the bootcamp starts,
Yeah.
and so they pay the fee here, and then they pay the same amount 3 days later because the bootcamp is starting. And I know we remind them, but sometimes it gets lost. Yeah, thank you for highlighting that. So Code Thin is asking, any plans to host any? Yes, we're working on that. So our um, what's the name of that team that we mind? I'm gonna forget now. We had a great partner for hackathons, and we're actually looking into partnering with Major League Hacking to offer hackathons again. Mindbean, yeah, Mintbean. Mintbean was our hackathon provider, and I don't know what happened to them. To be honest with you, they kind of disappeared in a weird way. Um, but yeah, so we do plan for that in the future as well. Look at that.
Drew's just helping out.
Yeah. What would you say to that one?
Well, yes, everything is completely online. At this time, we do not have any in-person workshops. Sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty tough once you pivot and once you really bring all your operations to online to go back to in person. And we've also surveyed our audience, and not that many students really want to go back to in person, to be honest with you. And so I think for the foreseeable future, you're going to see that our boot camps are going to be delivered online. It's sad for me because I really truly believe in the power of bringing people together in person. And we've been really actually working for uh, 3 months on trying to think about, okay, what will the in-person experience look like again? And it's hard. It's actually much harder than when we started for lots of reasons. So I'm still hopeful that at some point we'll have an online offering. It will probably be an overlay, like you'll register, an in-person offering, and it'll probably be an overlay. It'll be, you're going to register to online, and then you're going to buy separately in addition, like a package, but then you're going to have that in-person package on top of that. So that's kind of how we were thinking about it. Victor, welcome, Victor. You're going to start pretty soon. I think in a week from now, I think
Yeah.
something like that. So we're looking forward to seeing you. Um, what do you tell, people like Victor who are worried about the time commitment?
Be ready to have no time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's
You gotta stay focused. Remind your friends, your family that you're starting the program and you need to commit the time so that you can pass and succeed.
Yeah. I think Scott, there you go. Yeah. So Scott wanted to be an expert with options in the digital project management space. Oh, I hear that's a question that you get a lot, Francesca, from prospects. I mean, which path should I take between front end and back end?
With that, I normally say it really depends on your interest or your career path, because the front end is more with um, design or how it looks, and the back end is more of how the techniques used on how it's functioned. So it really depends on your interest, your career path. If you're still not sure, some people just go based on which one makes more money. And you can
Mhm.
also do some research on linkedin.com in your area based on front end or back end developer, to see what the companies are looking for, what the salaries are like in your area, and you could probably make a decision based on that. But that honestly is, personally based on you.
Yeah, I find as well that there's actually two categories of persona that will work best for the front end or the back end. And so let me explain. In general, if you have an interest in arts, in general, if you have an interest or if you feel like you're a creative person,
Hmm.
if you like to draw, if you like to paint, if you, if you have an artistic mindset,
Yeah.
right? Uh, you will do well in the front end area because it's all about having a sense of color, having a sense of style, having a sense
How it
of
looks.
look and feel, having a sense of experience. That's not me, by the way. I've learned that I'm really not good at front end. I don't have really an interest. I don't know what looks good, pretty much. uh, on the other side, if you are generally more interested in science, if you have more interest typically in physics, in math, in, you know, why the earth is round or whatever, if science is more your thing, usually you'll enjoy backend. And I'm not saying you'll enjoy backend more, it's just your mind will work well with what you learn in the backend space. So it's very much those two things. If you're more of a science person, you love backend. You may love full stack as well. You may love front end. Like I love front end, even though I'm not the best at it. Um, and if you're an art science, if you are a creative person, you'll do well with front end. And again, you may still love backend as well, but you will feel more at home if based on those two personas.
Or you could do full stack, which is both.
There you go. And you know what? That's a great story because um, full stack could actually be what gives you the opportunity to ultimately decide because you'll start with front end and you'll see how you feel, and then you'll start back end
Yep.
and you'll see how you feel. And we've seen students grinding through front end, kind of liking it, but kinda, and then all of a sudden they start Node.js, Express, and GoDB, and they're like, "Oh, that's what I love," right? And so yeah, it's a great point. Full stack actually will expose you to everything you need to know, and at the end of it, you'll know. All right. Oh, that's a good one. What would you say to Dan?
We don't have an actual requirement to take a quiz, but we do have a website where you can test yourself. How do we put it on the?
There you go. Let me actually do that. I really like this thing. So uh, I think if you go to our full stack page here, it's listed there. I think somewhere on that page. There we go. No, it's not here. It's this one. Okay. So let's say. Well, let me go back. It is at least when you're trying to register. So let's say I'm trying to register here. Um, I'm going to be asked if I know the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And this is the test. Take this test. If you score above or equal 85%, then you will qualify. If you don't, then you have to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For that, you can register to the 4 weeks Web Development Fundamentals Bootcamp first, or you can learn on your own. That's fine as well, as long as you hit that magic number of 85% positive answers. And so if you click that link now, that's the test. It's actually the W3 school test, 25 questions. This one is mostly JavaScript. It's actually the JavaScript test. So try it today if you want. See if you hit 85%. And it's not that easy. So that's it.
You said it's not that easy.
No. All right. I see that Drew has been answering some of those. You want to take that one?
Yes, the monthly payments are interest free if you're paying through NewCamp. Now, if you're financing, then they have their own interest and fees. But through NewCamp, there are no interest.
That's right. It's a simple, I'll say simple payment plan. As long as you have a credit card or debit card, you're
Yeah.
in. Cool.
I think Drew answered that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
The laptop one?
Yeah, he said any desktop laptop running Windows 10 or Mac OS made in the last 3 years that has a processor with an Intel i5 or equivalent, 8 GB or RAM and SSD solid state drive should be good.
That's
And
right.
that is on our FAQ page as well.
That's right. Oh, hey, you know what? Let me show you let me show the FAQ page. How about that? Kind of like it. FAQ. That's the FAQ page. You'll find a ton of stuff there. But of course, we don't expect you necessarily to actually read it all. That's why you're here. That's why we have this live show. Anuja is part of the team as well, and is kindly reminding me that it's Min Bin indeed, who used to be our provider for the hackathons.
It's her anniversary today.
That's right, 3 years. That's right. Anuja has been with NewCamp for 3 years. Congrats. All right, let's go thin. Thank you. So I'd love to hear more of their stories and expertise. Any plans to get Nick Divona onto a campfire? Why not? So Nick and I go a long way. Nick joined NewCamp when I was instructing in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, wow.
And we actually saw each other last year, something like that. During COVID, he actually was able to come and see us in Bellevue, Washington. Yeah, that'll be cool to have him on the campfire. We'll see if we can make that happen. And Nick, by the way, Nick is also a career advisor. So when you graduate, you are matched with a career advisor, and they're phenomenal. I mean, we get the surveys, the ratings. It's always 5, 5, 5. I mean, really excellent advisors. People in the field, they're active, full stack backend developers, and they are really helping on the side. And so Nick is one of those. And Nick is part of the team. Oh, yes, that's a great one. Guitarra. Yes, if you're a musician, you'll probably love front end. There's a ton of musicians that says that, learning to code, learning front end is like learning music. So yeah, that rings totally true. It's a great way to know what you're gonna like. Krista, we're looking forward to having you as well next week. So you're starting the web development fundamentals, I think. Say hi on Slack when you're there. Say hi to Francesca. Say hi to me, okay? So when you go through that list, Francesca, do you recognize names of people that have reached out to you on email, or maybe did you talk to some of them? Anyone that rings a bell here?
Sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But everybody today, I don't.
No, not today.
Yeah, not today.
All right. Pre-learning JavaScript and HTML. Perfect. Yeah, Victor. I'll jump at the opportunity for in-person sessions. I hear you. So in our survey, 30% of our students really cared about in-person. And still a decent number, it's a third, obviously. But it's tough. It's really tough to bring it back. So I have begun the systematic shutdown of
Oh wow.
not everything. Not everything. So, Victor, are you registered for the 4 weeks bootcamp or are you registered for the longer? Is it the 22 weeks? Good news is we have breaks. So, once in a while, you have a Saturday off. So you still can plan for stuff there, but you're supposed to work on your project. Oh, we have Leo joining. Hey, Leo, you want to come on?
Who's Leo?
Well, he's here now. Hey, Leo, we cannot hear you. Check your mic.
Sorry about that. I had it muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
All right. Hi, Ludo. Hi, Francesca. How you
Hi.
guys doing today?
pretty good. Thanks for joining.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, so I wanted to mention two quick things. One, I have a lot of people asking about the front end. So I actually joined a new camp. I'm starting next week or a week, next Monday, I guess, or the 20th.
So that's going to be the web development
That's
fundamentals.
the fundamentals. That's right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then after that, I'm doing the front end. So
cool.
I chose the front end. And I was just wanted to mention this because I come from a motion graphics background. So for the past 10 years, I've been a motion graphics designer.
Yeah.
And I think front end is a perfect fit for people that are designers, musicians, people that think more creatively, because you're
Mhm.
always thinking of how things look and everything. The back end looks pretty cool too, but I'm not a scientific person, so I don't, I don't know. I think front end is cool. So anyway, I just wanted to reinforce that in people that are wondering about, which one is best for me. The
Yeah.
second thing, yeah, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, yeah, that's it.
Cool. Oh yeah. So I did have a question, just something, what do you guys think about? What do you guys think about like after boot camp, after you're done with like the front end or the back end or the whole thing? What do you think? What kind of company is likely to hire people like us that are out of boot camp? That maybe we have a portfolio, we make it as solid as we possibly could. What would you say is the kind of company that's more likely to hire people like us? That's just my question.
Hmm. So let me take that one, and then Francesca will welcome your thoughts. First thing I'll say is I think the companies that in the past were not as open to coding bootcamp graduates will be more open to them now. And one of the reason is, and I'm specifically thinking about the top hand high tech companies that had a very high bar for entry. Um, those most of them cannot afford anymore. So the most paid software engineers. I don't know if you've seen the news, but there's a bunch of news of people resending offers on top software engineers, the people that get 250, 300, 400 grand a year. And it's not that they don't need them anymore. They absolutely still need software engineers. They just can't afford the most expensive ones. And I think it's actually a great opportunity for coding bootcamp graduates to get in there and say, hey, I can do the job. Maybe I'll be at 70% of that guy, that rock star that you wanted to hire. But I'm going to be more affordable and I'm going to be super committed. And if you can actually coach me and mentor me for a while, I'm going to be worth, the investment. And so I think those companies that in the past may have said, no, we only want the top notch, all those guys, they're going to be actually super open to hire more affordable and more junior positions. And then I'll say, I don't think there's a profile of company that are not going to hire you besides those ones. All the other companies are slowly but surely evolving to remove gates, meaning they are going to remove more and more, needing to have a bachelor degree. And at the end of the day, it's going to be what's actually great in this industry. It's going to be based on skills. Like you're going to do a test. Either you pass the test or you fail the test. Um, and if you pass the test, the algorithm, the whiteboard interview, then you're good. They're not going to care about much anything else. That's one. The second is, which actually kind of they're actually going to care about something else, which is your personality. Can we work with you? Are you going to fit the culture? Are you going to be, a jerk, or are you going to be pleasant? Can you communicate well? And again, that has nothing to do with your background. And again, the top-notch engineers sometimes are the least pleasant to work with because of that
Mhm.
their status.
Mhm.
And a lot of companies want to stay away from that. So I think all in all, now actually probably is a better time to be a coding bootcamp graduate than, let's say, a year ago, when it was the top of the tech bubble, and you had to compete for those jobs, because again, that those top-notch engineers, we are not getting those jobs anymore. I think you guys will get those jobs.
Wow, that's a great perspective on that. I was going to ask you about what your thoughts were on how the industry stands right now, but I think that's a great question. Hey guys, it's nice to see you, and I look forward to starting
Thank
class
you very much
on the
for
20th.
joining,
We
Leo. It
love
was great to have you there. Good luck Monday, and as I said, say hi to Francesca and me when you join. Okay,
All right, sounds great. Take it easy,
take
guys.
care. Oh, I love this. This is cool. um all right, so I think there's a question here, but I don't know what it is. Do you see that? Do you see a bias? I don't know. We only have 10 minutes. There's so many questions.
Oh my,
Okay.
test batteries.
Oh, I think it's back. Sorry, it's about what to choose after. Should
Oh,
we choose front end or should we choose back end? I don't think a questionnaire. I guess maybe a questionnaire would work. Yeah, I think experiencing it is probably the best though. Then you know. Oh, there you go. John Carr is loving backend bootcamp. Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you,
let's
John.
go.
Great to have you.
Keep it up.
Yes. Oh, I love this one. Catherine. Catherine is over age 60 and you're worried about age discrimination. Catherine, I will invite you to read this blog. Uh, Hold on. Let me it's actually, I wanted to have that person on our homepage. Let me find it. Okay, it's coming. Where is it? There you go. Laurie. Whoop, come back, Laurie. Laurie Haffelt. Let me paste the story in the chat. I actually had Laurie in a campfire as well.
I think
Um,
I remember her.
so what?
I think I remember seeing.
Well,
Okay.
Laurie is also an instructor with us now. So
Oh,
she has a
awesome.
fantastic story. So Catherine, check out Laurie, ping her. I don't know if somewhere there's a LinkedIn profile. Maybe have a conversation with Laurie. Great person, super inspirational. She did the bootcamp with us. She became an instructor, and so hopefully that's going to help. There you go. You're welcome, Catherine. Okay, let's go back. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Again, in the realm of figuring out if you're more of a front end or a back end. I mean, based on, do you like learning languages or not? Right. I think if you like to learn languages, I'll say that probably place you in the front end bucket. That'll be my take.
Yeah.
Hey, we went through the full list of questions. How about that?
Oh yeah. And
So,
like,
well, let me do a plug then. Let me do a plug. For 5 minutes, let me talk about what's coming up. So, we are starting the web development fundamentals on June 20th. You've heard a few people talk about it starting on Monday. If you registered like until last Monday, you would have paid 249 twice. You can still register. It's just going to cost $40 more to join the June 20th cohort, or you can decide to join the July 25th and then you'll pay the early bird. But then what's interesting here and important, I think, is the same is happening for backend, meaning this coming Monday at 11 p.m., sorry, midnight Central Time, um, it's going to go from 385 times to 465 times. So that one, it's a little bit more. It's like 350 total difference. So if you are intending to register to backend, you want to start on June 27th, you probably want to do that before. Yeah, you probably want to do that before Monday midnight. And as we talked about today, you can check out here, use your credit card, and you're going to pay interest-free payment plan. Or if that's too much, you can actually work with one of our credit loan provider, and have a payment plan in place. There's a ton of options there. It carries interest, etc., etc. But that's also an option. Anything else we should be talking about, Francesca, you think? Or any other question from the audience?
Well, I don't know if everyone has our also toll-free number, our 888 number.
That's right.
So, Pluto can put it in the chat. So if you do have questions, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time, you can just call us and you can speak with an advisor.
Yeah, that's a great point. So let me actually, again, I love showing my screen, I guess. If you go at the bottom, I think we removed the 800 number, but here's something you can do. If you want to schedule a meeting with Francesca, you have this. Schedule a call with a new camp advisor. And it could be Francesca or Drew or Miles at this time. And so you're going to go straight here and pick a slot. So schedule time, have a chat, one-on-one, 30 minutes conversation. And let me actually then answer Catherine. Yes, we do include APIs from the front end, consumption of APIs from the front end, as well as creating your own APIs on the back end when you get there. All right. Hey, if there's no more question, I think we're very close to wrapping up. Francesca, as always, it's been a pleasure having you. Hope you'll feel better. You were sick. You were quite sick this week.
But I still came on.
That's right. That's right. We were worried.
Commitment.
Because you want to be, you miss the audience, right? You want to be with the students. That's cool. Well, thank you very much so much for doing that. We're going to have another session next week. I don't know if you're going to join. If Drew is going to join, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Victor loves the videos. Thank you. And what is perhaps discuss how to get a remote web dev job. Well, that's a great suggestion. We should actually talk about that. Drew, Team Newcamp. Drew, you're going to be online. You're going to be on this show.
Drew.
Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think, Drew. All right, Francesca, such a pleasure again.
Bye.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Take care.